The fundamental currencies of our universe is energy. We can get energies from many types of methods, or maybe we can say a lot of ways, such as burning fossil fuels, the examples, or maybe we can go with the sunlight striking or photovoltaics. But as we all know that burning fossil fuels are extremely toxic. Whilst we don't have any ideas yet how to store enough batteries for a house when it's come to us cloudy days. However, beside those opinions, government can go with another new method such as including the ideas of using a wind powers, or maybe even say including the ideas of using more like a chemistry things, such as using the ideas of splitting atom to create nuclear power plants. That nuclear power plants that emit little to no greenhouse gas and enough powers for every citizen uh, to using it in every country, especially in Cambodia. So in these presentations, I will explain you the reasons that Cambodia should build a nuclear power plant. Firstly, I will talk about the meanings of nuclear power plants for other people or react to a nuclear power plants. The word what they really feel about it. Then the impacts on the environment. Firstly, that's the most important things, and then moving on, talking about the impacts on the economics of Cambodia. So let's get it started. For many people, the terms of nuclear energies is associated as a negative event or feeling because people will feel that, and yeah, people will feel unsafe because nuclear disaster is really terrifying, and scientists has never find a way in order to save it. But however, those people are really a negative people because they always think like that. However, it is important to be informed about any topic before developing your own conclusion. That's important. So nuclear energy is originate from splitting atom into a process of fission called fission. At the power plants, the fission process is used to generate heat for producing steam, which is used by turbines to generate electricity. Let's start since we all know that the meanings of nuclear power plants already. Let's continue and moving on to environment. Nuclear energy is by far has the lowest impact on the environment since it does not release any gas like carbon dioxide or methane, for an example. And it is which are largely responsible for greenhouse effects. The generations of electricity through a nuclear energy reduce the amounts of energy generated from a fossil fuels such as coal, oil, for example. And yeah, less of using fossil fuels mean lowering the numbers of greenhouse gas, and especially carbon dioxide or many other types. And that is the best idea for a government for governments of Cambodia, since that Cambodians want to reduce the numbers of too much carbon dioxide, and we can like a government can save more money, not just only use like fossil fuels every day every times, and not to create more toxic. Moving on, let's take a look about the economics. Why it's benefit our economics? As we all know, or maybe some of you know, or maybe you might acknowledge that Cambodia buy an electricity from our neighbors country, such as Vietnam, for example, and Thailand. However, if Cambodians have their own nuclear power plants, factories, not just enough energy for every citizens in Cambodia, it's even further, but also having like enough energy to sell worldwide. And or maybe you can say just like think from a small like think from a really small things. We can sell our energy to our country that is a neighbor, and especially to a country that really need the electricity to survive. Also, it's helped reduce the money on spending on buying electricity from another countries. And yeah, we have our own energy, so we didn't have to depend on them, on the countries in order to have energy. Overall, I have talked about the meanings of nuclear power plants, and uh, uh, the effects on the environments that they have, also the big impacts that help the economics. So I hope that this will be a hot topics for a government in Cambodia to discuss whether the nuclear power plant is really important or not. And however, nuclear power plants have been planted in Cambodia with China, and I hope that this presentation will might help you to know more about um, Cambodia energy resource come from. And thank you for your participation and your time.